Hi, how are we doing? So, Spouse Affairs here. Well, I wanted to say this. You know, everybody wants to get married, and then there's this notion that, once you meet your soulmate, it's happily ever after. Well, I'm sorry, guys. It's not like that. Really. When you meet your so-called soulmate, there are still things that you need to work on. When you even get married, you find out that children come in, there's one issue or another issue. Sometimes there may even be loss of job, depending on whatever issue, baby issue, whatever. There are issues that come up right there in the relationship. So be ready to deal with such issues. Don't think that it is going to be happily ever after. The happily ever after is depends on how both of you decide to address each situation, each one you meet as it comes up. Both of you decide that, okay, you know what, we are together in this. How do we deal with this? How do we do this? How do we do that? You ask if you need external help, go to the right people. Sometimes you find out that you're in debt. All of a sudden, there's so much debt. This one is calling, that one is calling. There are places that you can go to for those kind of helps and get the right kind of help. But the notion that immediately you get married, everything is over, everything is, there are no issues. You've married your partner, the best person in the world, the best girl in town, the greatest guy you've ever known. My dear, when you get in there, there are still going to be other issues that will come up, because every day there's always a new challenge. Every day there's always something new that comes up. So how to deal with those things depends on how both of you, you know what, we're going to address this together. We're going to be in this. One of the greatest things that happen to someone is if you marry someone that in every circumstance they decide to fight for you, they decide to stay with you, they decide to stick with you. It helps. Not when maybe there's a baby issue, like maybe she has not taken in, and then the family is putting pressure on her, like she's the giver of babies, and then the man is taking the side of the family, or the lady is just bitter against the man. Maybe he had some issues which he didn't even know about. So that can put a huge strain in the relationship. How to get through those things depends on how both of you handle it. Like, I got married with the mindset that, you know what, everything is going to be all right. In fact, you have lived the life that was expected of you to live, and then you now get married. You feel that, okay, I've met the best person, he has met me, the best person to him. We get married, and then the first hit that hit me was baby issues. I started having challenges with babies. I started having issues. First pregnancy, by the time the baby was born, I lost the child. Second pregnancy, a set of twins. By 7 months or thereabout, we lost the first one, and then we lost the second one. So it was just like back to back, back to back, back to back. And I'm like, hey, what's going on here? What's going on here? I mean, I'm a Christian. We've been Christians all our lives. Why should we get married and then start meeting all these kind of roadblocks? Why? Why are we meeting all these kind of hitches? And then a thought comes to you and like, but I didn't, maybe commit abortion, or I didn't do this, I didn't do that. You now start thinking that it is things that, you didn't do this, why should this be happening to you? As if you are entitled to have a very peaceful life because you lived a very, in quote, good life before you got married. Well, all those things are not true. All those things are not true. So we got in there and found out that things were different. It wasn't really what one imagined. I never imagined that a day will come that I will lose a child, not to talk of three. It's not something that you even imagine that will happen to your enemy, not to talk of you. And so it was a very trying period for my family. But one thing that stuck with us was that my husband and I, we stuck together. Then I had a good support system. My family members, my father was always praying, doing the best that he could, encouraging us, always being there. He calls from time to time. Once he hears, okay, you're taking it again, he calls, just to make sure that his best, the best way he can. He made sure that he recommended the best doctor, you know, just to help us to make sure that, by the time it was really time for another one again, we were already prepared for it. So, but that was how we were able to deal with all those issues. So what am I saying? The happily ever after is worked out. The happily ever after is something that is created. It's not something that is just what do they call it, imagined, or is a fantasy like what all these books tell us. Once you meet him and then they live there, they were happy, and look, there's going to be disagreement whether you like it or not because both of you are two different human beings. So there's going to be disagreement. Both of you have two different backgrounds. You're coming from somewhere, he's coming from somewhere. You didn't grow up in the same house. Even people that even grew up in the same house, they still have different opinions. So imagine people that grew up with different backgrounds, different cultures, different races. So there will be disparity. But always remember that we are in this together. We can make this work. How can we make this work? I think we should do it this way. I think we should do it this way. I think we should do it. Suggestions and help. That's why I say make sure that you have a good support system. Make sure you have people that are standing by you, both in prayer, in when it comes to advice. Make sure that you are not just on your own, because sometimes these pressures can be so much that you're just like, you know what, I'm not doing it again, everybody just, but sometimes it doesn't get up to that point. So it is when you are not prepared for something, but nobody is praying that when they get married, they're going to face some challenges. But the truth is that challenges are just a part of life. Whether you pray for it, you don't pray for it, there's just one challenge that somebody just gets in, and then you find one challenge. That is just it. That's how life. It may come the first year, it may come 2 years, it may come 10 years after, it may even come before the marriage. Your family may just say, you know what, we are not supporting this marriage. That is already a big challenge. So just know that once two people decide that we want to do this thing together, challenges may come here and there, but you together can win it. Both of you together can decide that, look, we will get through this. We can get through this. We can get through this. And getting through this, we can get through this together. So I just wanted to put this out there, and I hope that it encourages somebody. Don't feel that, why is my own different? Everybody has their own. You are not the only one that went through stuff when immediately you got married. It doesn't mean that this person you got married to is a bad person, or it doesn't mean that. It doesn't mean that. That is just how it happens. Whether you're a good person, you're a bad person, we face challenges. That is just the truth. In fact, it's not even because you're a bad person that you're facing challenges now. No. The mercy of God has cleared all that. It is simple. I was even talking with my husband today, and we were talking, and he was like, you try to do things that are good, and you think that because of all the good you did, so that means you are entitled to have good things. It's not really like that. The Bible says that you will show mercy on whom you show mercy on. So it is the favor of God that actually keeps us. It is the mercy of God. Favor, mercy, grace. That's what keeps us. That's what gets us to the next point. So what we are supposed to do is, God, every day, let your mercy work for me. Let your favor work for me. Let your grace work for me. Let it work for me. And then you make some declarations to your part. Do the best you can do. And just trust God for the rest. That's it. So that you don't get bitter if some things don't, go the way that you planned. So I hope this has helped someone.